What's up, guys? I'm out here in the shop messing with some different things, mainly the transmission. The bearings finally came in that I've been waiting on. And I'm just kind of thinking and realizing how much more involved this project is getting than just an engine swap. And that's the way things go, you know. When you take something apart and then you go, well, while I'm here, I'm going to do this. And oh, you take that apart and then you go, oh, well, while I'm here, I need to do that too. And I just kind of want to show you what I'm going through with this right now, okay? So just bear with me. I'm having a beer or two while I'm out here. So I've got the transmission up, drained. I'm about to pull it apart. The bearings finally came in. I'm upgrading the input and output bearing. It's the same bearings, but there's more balls in them so they can take more load without getting slack. So that's not what this video is about, but motor's pretty much ready to go. You know, I was talking the other day about cleaning the firewall up and painting it and all that while I got it out. And, you know, like I said, this is a... Oh, I'm so impressed with your little V6. Fucking idiot. Anyway, last time I'm ever planning on having this motor out, if I can help it. So I went ahead and I'm cleaning up the firewall. I pulled the wiring harness out. Now when I pulled the wiring harness out to really clean the firewall up, I found all this kind of nastiness, and it is actually a lot worse than that. And I mean, everything everywhere. Everything that I haven't ever removed is totally rotted. Now, I've done a lot of repair to this harness in the past. I mean, I've replaced a lot of it. But I did not know that was in that kind of condition. So I've got a new harness coming. I'm going to replace it while this is out, which means the whole thing back to just behind the cab where the bulkhead connector is that connects to the rear harness is getting replaced. If you look at the last video, you'll remember that this firewall was completely black. Now, a lot of that was the old tar-based undercoating that the military used to rust-proof things. It was all inside the frame rails and all as well. All back there. I mean, everything was just totally coated in nastiness. So I got it's laying here because I was too lazy to go put it in the trash can when I got done. This stuff, man, I sprayed this stuff down on the firewall and everything. I used 3 cans of this. By the time I was able to get the pressure washer running, I didn't even need it. I mean, the stuff was just running off of the firewall. This stuff is absolutely incredible. It smells like aircraft paint remover, and I know I've said that in another video. I've talked about this. I'm still thoroughly impressed with this 3M degreaser. So, anyway, back to the moral of the story. So now I'm replacing the wiring harness. It should be here probably tomorrow. No big deal. Whatever. It's just some bolt-on components. So since I'm replacing the harness, I'm also trying to replace all the little loop clamps. And those are hard to find locally. So I've got some of them coming. I did find some locally, but not everything I needed. And while I was back here cleaning and degreasing everything, let's see if I can climb up in here. I noticed that I had some oil on the floor in there, that it was coming up from somewhere. So I was like, okay, well, I'll pull the other pan out, the other floor pan off under the seat above the transfer case. I'll see what's going on in there. And I wanted to change the vent line from the transfer case anyway, because I did it years ago and I used all 1/4-inch vent line for the whole system, and it's just not quite enough when things really get hot on the highway to vent properly. So I'm going to do 3/8. So when I get in here, let me climb in here some more. I noticed that it was actually this seal that was leaking. and you can kind of see the lip of it's pulled in there, and it's never been replaced, so it's about time. And that's actually not too bad. You just pull that top cover off there. There's a retainer you take off that with a ball detent and spring. You pull the rod out, knock the seal out from inside, and put a new one in. So since I'm here doing that, I figure, well, I've never replaced the input seal here, so I'll replace that too, because sure enough, if I don't do it in a week or two after I get this thing on the road, or the next very day, you know, it'll start pouring oil. So I might as well change it while I'm here. What else? I know there's more than I'm forgetting, but that's the way it is. Probably going to replace a lot of this copper line on here with nylon, the DOT air hose. I mentioned before I'm going to clean up the routing of some of the lines. It's clean, as in not covered in grease and crap now. But like that right there, the old splitter block for the vent for the master cylinder, I'm going to get rid of that, because I've got a dedicated vent line run for the master cylinder now, so there's no reason to have that. I'll probably pull the drive shaft out. I know it needs one of the U-joints in it replaced. Probably, yeah, it's that one. I'll clean it up, replace that U-joint, paint the shaft. I'm going to end up painting the firewall, painting the inside of the frame rails, the top of the axle. And since I'm painting, I'm going to pull this horn off, clean and sand the insides of the fenders. I've already degreased them, but you can see, I mean, the paint's just, whoever painted this at last in the military did not do any prep, which is common for old Army trucks like this. They don't prep them, they just clean them, you know, spray them with a pressure washer and paint them. So I'll be doing that, cleaning it up, painting everything inside of here, and see if I can get out of here. Of course, everything's sloppy because it hasn't stopped raining for days. It was raining earlier, and it's going to rain again. I've been cleaning off everything with the pressure washer, and since paint is just blowing off everywhere, I mean, it's only a 2200 PSI Troy-Bilt pressure washer. And it's just, I mean, ridiculous. So, I'm probably going to end up repainting the entire cab. Since I've already got the wiring harness and all the air plumbing and stuff out, probably going to pull the dash out again, because there's just some places on top of it that I was never really happy with the last time I painted it. It got some stuff on it somehow, I think from wiping it down with a rag, and it stayed in the paint, and I've never been really happy with that. So I'll probably take the dash out again and tape up my windshields and open them up and paint the windshield frame again, because it gets, even if it's sealed well, it still gets water in here and rust. So I don't know, it's like, it's never ending. I mean, even considering removing the bed liner from the floor in here and redoing it. So this was just cheap bed liner. This was some Kevlar lined Duplicolor stuff, or the Kevlar reinforced, and it's held up all right for a few years, but you can see, like, it's starting to come off in a few spots, and it's getting thin where it wears a lot. And like right here, it's not adhered very well anymore. So I don't know how much of this that I'm talking about I'll actually do, but the time to do it is now, right? I mean, look at this. See how the paint is, the original paint is cracked and coming off, and that once again was my fault. I left the slave plugged in and didn't remember it and pulled away from a truck, and it bent it sideways and cracked the paint. So yeah, I'm gonna end up doing quite a bit of painting as well on top of this, and I stopped short. I was thinking, well, I've got all this, you know, done. I've got the wiring harness and all the plumbing off the cab. It's only 4 bolts, and 2 pedals and like 6 fender bolts, and I could pull the cab off. And then I could do the underneath of the cab, you know, with some like lizard skin or something. But then I've got to pull the steering box and all that out. No, I'm going to stop short of pulling the cab off. I've wanted to do that since I got the truck, but I started out doing a motor swap here. I'm going to have to stop myself short of doing a full fucking restoration on this thing, because that's what it's going to turn into if I keep going this way. But I am going to show you guys how to take care of like thick old paint that's breaking off and stuff like that. How to seal up the cowl. Cowls on these trucks are bad about rotting out right at the seam where the cowl meets the upright there. So, but yeah, it's coming along. It's pretty much ready to be painted. There's a little more cleaning to do. There's some spots where the undercoat is still on there that didn't come off. But yeah, a few more days and I'll actually be sitting the motor in there. So I wanted to give you guys that update. Like, you know, there's videos or channels that people will do projects like this, and they'll be telling you this, that, and the other, and like, oh, I put my motor together, and then the next video the motor's sitting in the truck and you don't know what happened in between. I don't want to be that guy. Those guys are dickheads. So look for another video in a couple of days. I got one that I was going to make instead of this one, but I'm waiting on a phone call. I'm using my phone to record here, and I don't want to get a really important video screwed up. So just some filler in the meantime, show you what's going on. So thanks for watching, guys. Check back in soon, and we'll see you later.